Hey guys, MJB here. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of My Crypto News, where I cover news, topics, events regarding the issues pertaining to crypto that I feel are most important or that I would like to discuss or make you aware of. First of all, please note this is not financial advice. Do your own research. I'm just simply sharing my opinions and thoughts. Please quickly click that like, that's the thumbs up, and the subscribe as I continue to try and grow this channel so that I can get good information out to you folks. Here we go. First, looks like Bitcoin is down a little bit. It's down in the mid, what does this say? The mid 19,000s. It looks like Ethereum is in the low 1300s, so they're both down a little bit. I'm not sure when you're going to be seeing this video. Maybe it's just prior to the weekend, so maybe you'll catch this sometime over the weekend. The big story. Let's get right into it. The Binance Smart Chain exploit involving that cross-chain bridge. This is not good. It involved the Binance Smart Chain token hub. I've never used it before, so I'm not quite certain exactly how it works. I've never used it, but it's a cross-chain bridge, and as you may have heard in the past, these can be risky because a lot of the exploits that have occurred involve these cross-chain bridges. Binance Smart Chain is now up and running again. It was paused for several hours throughout my night. I'm not sure what time it was for you, but throughout my last night, it was down. It's back up and running. Everything evidently appears to be fine. Your funds are safe. I wanted to bring this up in case you weren't aware of it, but I wanted to bring it up because, again, I don't use cross-chain bridges. What I typically do is I have my Coinbase account. I don't keep assets on there because if Coinbase folds, I don't have access to those tokens because I don't hold the keys. You want to have them on your MetaMask where you have direct control of them. That's considered a non-custodial control. But I have a Coinbase account because I'll buy something on Coinbase, and if it's an Ethereum, if it's an ERC20, Ethereum type token, I will then send it. I'll buy it on Coinbase, and I can just send it directly to my MetaMask. Or what I'll do to avoid the cross-chain bridges is I'll buy, like, say, USDC or Ethereum on Coinbase, and then I'll send it to KuCoin, which is another exchange. You could then use KuCoin to swap your USDC or DAI or Ethereum, like we said, for something that you can't buy on Coinbase, such as a BNB or BUSD or something like that. I then send from KuCoin to my Binance Smart Chain MetaMask setting the BNB or the BUSD, and then I could then buy whatever I want with that BUSD or BNB, using PancakeSwap or something like that. Why I have my MetaMask set to the Binance Smart Chain. You could also use Binance US to send assets from there to your MetaMask. I don't have Binance US. Like I said, I use Coinbase and then go to KuCoin and then to MetaMask. Anyway, bottom line, why I'm bringing this up is I don't use these various cross-chain bridges. They're risky. Again, there's been a lot of problem with these in the past. That's why I go to Coinbase, KuCoin to MetaMask, or from Coinbase directly to MetaMask if it's an ERC20. Next thing, let's see here. I mean, with these types of things happening, there's obviously a need for regulation, for crypto regulation. And I know that we hear a lot about it with our government, with the U.S. government taking action, the European Union discussing it. There is a need for it. It's just a matter of how much control do we want them to have. But there's been so many bad things lately. I mean, you talk about, Voyager folding. They make these horrible loans, and then the loans don't get repaid, and then they fold. You've got the Celsius incident. I mean, basically, the Celsius co-founders were recently discovered to have cashed out, what do my notes say here, about $42 million just before the collapse. I mean, that's total crap, and who knows if they're going to, if that's considered illegal or not, or if they're going to go after these guys or not. They should. You've got the founder of Terra Luna, this Do Kwon character. He's now a fugitive. His passport was recently voided, and they're now after him. There's arrest warrants for him because he allegedly withdrew millions just prior to the Terra Luna collapse. Again, total crap. So there's a need for regulation, but how far, again, do we want it to really go? but there's got to be some type of rules set down. Who knows what they're going to eventually be? Um, I guess I'm just putting this out there. It's just the wild, wild west. You may have seen some of my earlier videos where I talk about don't get involved, or I would highly recommend you do more research, but I don't recommend getting involved in something like Ike Finance. They allegedly have some sacrifice going on pulsechain. Don't get involved in Ike Finance or Decentralize X. I could spell it out later, or watch my earlier videos when I talk about different projects I'm not too thrilled with or I'm skeptical of, because those are certainly some of them. Beware. That's all I could say is beware, is I guess what I'm saying. Again, it's just the wild, wild west. There needs to be some crypto regulation so these guys can't go around fleecing people and getting away with it. What else do we got here? Which leads to the Mt. Gox matter, which happened many, many years ago. You might not be aware of it, but there was a hack back in 2014, and Mt. Gox was the original site that you would go to buy and sell your Bitcoin. And now, years later, they're now going to resolve the matter, and the Bitcoin is going to be repaid, to the victims. But there's been a big fear that they repay the victims and that there's a big giant Bitcoin dump, which is going to plummet the price, which will take down a lot of the market, because a lot of tokens are paired to Bitcoin in liquidity pools, and so that would just dump everything. We don't want that happening, but I just wanted to let you know that it looks like that's not what's going to happen. So when the time comes and they start doing these repayments to the victims, which could be very, very soon, maybe even by the end of the year, and we're talking about $3 billion in Bitcoin position, they're saying that they're not going to liquidate it all at once, which is great news, because we don't want a shit ton of Bitcoin suddenly given back to these people that have been waiting 8 years for it to then dump it and then kill the price. So it looks like many of the creditors are going to be taking payments, which is good to know. And again, this liquidation is not going to happen at once. So I think that's just really, really good to know. Again, on this whole topic of exploits and regulation and all the other crap, the European Council for the European Union is very recently taking steps to regulate crypto. And there's a new bill that currently awaits approval by the European Parliament. I guess the vote is on 10/10, so that's coming up at the end of this, early next week. And this could have a massive impact depending on what they're trying to do here, which is prevent money laundering. We just talked almost all about that type of thing. Consumer protection. We've just covered that. Company accountability. We've just covered that. Impact on environment is more because of proof of work, because of the amount of power and electricity that Bitcoin mining, for example, undertakes. And they don't like it. And it's not good for the environment. So they're going to probably cover something like that, which leads me to believe that Bitcoin, I'm not going to say is in trouble, but I'd rather be in Ethereum than Bitcoin because of the whole proof of work issue and the hazards against the environment. But evidently, they're looking to address that too. And obviously, stable coins is a big one, because you need to have stable coins legitimately backed. We need to know that a dollar equals a dollar. And so that's something else that they're talking about in this bill. So we'll see what happens on the 10th if this passes, and what ramifications it might have, and how the USA, how the feds, how the USA may follow suit, because they're obviously interested and involved in this type of thing too. And again, in terms of crypto regulation, with what's going to be declared as security or not, all those types of things. Let's see here. What else I got in my notes? I've talked about Polygon in an earlier video, and I just think it's amazing how it's holding tough in this bear market. I discussed in an earlier video on why I like Polygon, if you want to watch that video after this one, how Disney and Coca-Cola are on board with them and use their platform. Now Starbucks is going to use their platform. Robinhood recently added Polygon to trading. That's pretty big. Other partners of theirs include Adobe, Mercedes, Reddit, Meta, even the NFL here in the United States. Watch my video on Polygon, why I like it. Those are just a few more reasons that I just rambled off on why I still like it. It's still beat down, but it's right now under 90 cents. Not financial advice, do your own research, but just wanted to quickly comment on that. Let's see here. Liquid loans. That's one that I sacrificed for. I'm really high on liquid loans. Watch my video on how to use liquid loans if you're not quite sure about how that protocol works. I give a really good tutorial on how to use it, regardless of what stage you're at, whether you just have cash and want to get involved, whether you sacrifice for it, whether you have a bunch of PLS that you don't know what to do with after launch. Watch my video. Anyway, I'm bringing this up because their testnet has been alive and up and running, and you can certainly play with it and learn how to use it. I think it's pretty straightforward, but if you want to play with it, certainly feel free as we hopefully near the launch of pulsechain. What else do I got here in my notes? Let's see here. For those of you that are involved in PulsePot, it's known as BNB pot on the Binance Smart Chain. Well, I mentioned about the Binance Smart Chain exploit. There was just an announcement that from the founder of PulsePot that the BNB pot games launch, which was going to be taking place next week on Tuesday the 11th, that's been delayed for 1 week. And I think they're doing it just to make sure that Binance Smart Chain is safe, up and running, is sound. And I think it's a smart thing to do. I'm bringing this up, first of all, because you're not surprised that the games are delayed, but I'm mentioning it because in my prior news video, which you should also watch to get caught up on some other topics that I put in the title if you want to get caught up on some of those topics. Certainly watch that prior news video. But it makes you wonder, first, are other Binance Smart Chain products going to be delayed, such as the Animalfarm, which is coming out on the 20th or on the 18th of this month? That makes me nervous because I do not want Animalfarm delayed because I don't want the price of drip or pigs to plunge, because that could happen if that sucker gets delayed. The Seifu X sacrifice is going to be on October 20th. We don't want that delayed. So hopefully everything with Binance Smart Chain is going to be up and running. I mention it because PulsePot was one of the first projects that you sacrificed for on pulsechain, but they decided to launch on Binance Smart Chain. So that's why I'm just kind of following it closely. And right here, they decided to delay their launch of their games. So just please note. Other than that, those are the main important topics that I wanted to hit today, for this October 7th, 8th, 9th weekend coming up. Feel free to leave any comments down below. I'll certainly stay on top of the comments. Again, please like and subscribe. I'll get out another news report probably early next week after we've survived this weekend. Again, watch my prior videos for information on some other good projects that you may want to learn about. Watch my prior news video because it does cover some other topics that may help you get up to date on certain things. Hope you've enjoyed it. Take care. Until the next time.